So for your classroom-based micro-teach, the subject's going to be 30 minutes, and included in that 30 minutes would be an introduction, health and safety ground rules, complete an icebreaker, and then state your aims and outcomes. The main body will have 4 learning outcomes, which is a prerequisite by TQ UK, who is our awarding body. In the body also will be a set of your assessment approach, which can either be, if it's a theory-based session, it will be multiple choice question or trues and false. If it's a practical based session, then it would be you're doing an observation of practice. After you've done the body and the assessment, then you're going to go into a summary. Now the summary must contain the restatement of your aims and outcomes and a summation of what you've done in the session. As said, they can either be theory-based or practically based. So if it's theory-based, that would just be that you're providing information, and the information then needs to be tested and checked at the end to see if learning has taken place. And you would need at least 1 question per learning outcome. So as there's 4, at least 4 questions. Of course you can do more, that's totally up to yourself, but think about your time scale, think about how much time you've got within the 30 minutes to actually check learning. If it's a practical element, best way is to look at how long a practical element is going to take by you delivering it, explaining it, completing it, and then for the learners to be practicing it. That's the big thing around that. The course also has specific paperwork. There's a session plan that needs to be completed, and that needs to be completed fully before you can do the session. Also, in the classroom we'll be doing peer assessment, so that means 1 or 2 of you may be assessing a peer or colleague, and you'll be completing the necessary paperwork, which is just a 1 to 5 scale of if the person did bad or did well, and then some comments on performance and interaction with the group, how they may have moved, the way they communicated. So these are fundamental parts of what you need to do in the classroom. So whether you're doing practical, whether you're doing theory, you need to have a session plan. It needs to be structured correctly. You also need to think about the type of assessment you're going to use. You also need to think about the props. So it's very important that you do come along with a laptop where you can actually write a PowerPoint presentation or produce information. It's very important that if you think about what you're going to be doing, if you're doing a first aid subject, most of the equipment will be available here, but if it's a subject that you thought about teaching, please be prepared to bring some props with you, because again, it's difficult if people are away from home that they may have to shop and buy stuff locally. So if you already have a fixed idea of what you're going to be teaching, bring some props and stuff with you. It does say in most of the joining instructions, please bring a laptop, but also start thinking about the micro-teach element to complete the qualification where you may have to have props. It's better to be able to bring some stuff than have to go out and purchase.